A maniac in blue clothes pulled me off and slapped me. Subscribe or they will haunt you. Redditors who were born at a very young age. What is your story? Clearly I was very sick. I mean, I was born in hospital. Damn man, I hope you are better now. To be honest, I've suppressed nearly every memory of the early period. But my parents tell me I avoided most activities, refused to speak, and spent much of my time crying. I was so shocked, I couldn't speak for a year. A maniac in blue clothes pulled me off and slapped me. Interesting. So tell us, what happened when you were born? I was born naked. That's so embarrassing. To be honest with you, it was pretty rough. I couldn't talk, so I had a real tough time expressing myself. It got so frustrating I'd just cry and cry. Sometimes my mom or dad would be there for me, then they'd cover their face and completely disappear from my world. Also, I could not stop pooping myself, so no one respected me. Consequently, they kept treating me like a baby. I'm so sorry about that experience. Seriously, it made me tear up just reading your story. Hopefully, that mental trauma didn't follow you your entire life. You'll be in my prayers tonight. Right after my birth I slowly started dying. I was born at a very young age, the youngest age anyone has seen. People say it was the greatest youngest birth ever. It was young and beautiful. Great age. Tremendous age. And you know a lot of people have ages. My people told me these people. Many people have ages. But we had such great ages, folks. I'll tell ya. But no one had such a young age. The doctors, they said. We've never seen such a young age. Many doctors told me this, the youngest age possibly ever. Joe Biden could never be born at such an age. Joe Biden, when he was born he turned 40. And maybe even older than that. I don't know. Maybe even older than that, and you know, I have never looked better, believe me. I happen to be born extremely young. In fact, I also happen to have been the youngest person on the planet. Even if only for a very short period of time, presumably. I remember when I was applying for a job as a fashion editor, they asked me what made me get into fashion. I didn't know what to say, so I said I've been putting on clothes since I can remember. Both the interviewer and I started cracking up. I got that job. I was born at an extremely young age. Then it went downhill from there. The first 10 million years were the worst. And the second 10 million years, they were the worst too. The third 10 million I didn't enjoy at all. After that I went into a bit of a decline. When my mother was pregnant with me, they did an ultrasound and found she was having twins. When they did another ultrasound a few weeks later, they discovered that I had absorbed the other fetus. Do I regret this? No, I believe his tissue has made me stronger. I now have the strength of a grown man and a little baby. Dwigged. It all started on the day of my birth. My parents didn't show up. Edit. This blew up. Thank you all. After I was born I started to age quickly, with about 1 second per second. Every 60 seconds in Africa a minute passes. Not me personally, but a friend of mine was born on his birthday. Is he okay? Any lasting trauma? No, he's completely normal. You'd never know he was any different from you or me. Such an inspiring story. He deserves fame, my bro. Golden buzzer. I was born at 0 years old. Beat that. Wait, you were born when you were 0, too. I thought I was the only one. Don't remind me. It was a very difficult time of my life, and thus I'm trying to get over it. Edit. Some people are telling/messaging me that they are sorry, and I really appreciate that, but my answer is a joke just like the question. While I get this is supposed to be a funny one, I actually was born at a very young age. 3 months premature. In 1987. Or 3-month premature baby was a pretty dicey situation. My parents allowed the doctors to do some lung treatments that at the time were still very new. I spent a long time in an incubator and had a feeding tube. The scar makes it look like I have 2 belly buttons, which I used to think was super neat when I was a kid. All in all, I turned out fine. I have 2 kids of my own who were born healthy and on time. I guess I just wanted to share my somewhat serious story on this otherwise lighthearted thread just in case any other parents of preemies happen to read. Even if your baby is born at a very young age, there is hope that everything can be okay. Not sure if this counts, but at age 6 I was born without a face. My parents told me that when I was born I misbehaved so badly that the doctor spanked me. I know a guy who was actually born 4 years before he was born. I was born at a very young age. This is where you cry. But there's a twist. My mom gave birth to me instead of my dad. The Precambrian was a time of experimentation. I was born with 7 eyes, 2 noses, and lip tentacles. Mom was quite upset and screamed. Or I think she wolf, but she had no mouth. It was very sad. Both of my parents failed to show up for my birth. I legit was born 7 months into the pregnancy, so beat that, Reddit. It's one of the very first things I did, being born. And as such, I didn't have much experience at it. There were a whole lot of large people there I'd never met, and I had no clothes that fit. That said, I did well enough that I'm still here and haven't needed to be born again. In fact, as age goes, I've held a personal record for days old literally every day since then. I learned a lot in those early days. Screaming doesn't always get you what you want. Moms and dads are pretty awesome. Being allowed to sleep 20 hours a day doesn't last forever. In my case, I was born in the hospital so that I could be near my mom. In my day, we were born much older. I staggered up from the delivery room table and went right to work in the mines. When I was born I realized almost immediately that I knew practically nothing. Not much has changed. I was born at a very young age. I was birthed from my mother's vagina and my dad was there to watch. They named me after a movie. As I grew up, I learned a lot of things. I learned how to walk, to talk, to not eat chalk. I learned how to spell, to rant, to not shit in my pants. I learned my 1, 2, 3s, my ABCs. Life looked quite alright. But then, horror struck. I realized my pages existed, and it felt good touching it. I started jacking off, and it spiraled from there. Now I'm a 14-year-old dude, which includes jacking off as a daily routine. Life, contrary to everyone else's, has been going smoothly. I've got friends and family. Heck, I got my own chocolate bar. This is my story. I was a baby when I was born. Was shitting and pissing all over myself for a couple of years and couldn't tell anyone except by screaming. King bullshit. Do not recommend. I didn't choose to be born. I was made to be born. I was born about 10,000 years ago. There ain't nothing in this world that I don't know. I saw Peter, Paul and Moses playing Ring Around the Roses. And I'll whop the guy what says it isn't so. Well, I'm just a lonesome traveler, a great historical dumb highly educated through history I have come. I built the Rock of Ages. It was in the year 01. And that's about the biggest thing that man has ever done.